This One's Wife, Hypocrisy. She's at it again in NYC. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Narcissists are hypocrites. It's a necessary part of the flexibility of the narcissism to ensure that the narcissist is not shackled or fettered in any kind of way to enable them to pursue the prime aims with absolute ease. This hypocrisy is often writ large in relation to unaware narcissists by virtue of their sense of entitlement, their lack of accountability, and the compartmentalization by which the narcissism operates. For instance, the narcissism will say something at 9 a.m. in order to get to the prime aims. At 9:15 a.m., or even sooner, they can say something which completely contradicts what they said at 9 a.m., again, to get to the prime aims. They don't see any problem with that, because what happened at 9 a.m. has already dissipated into the ether. They don't keep an internal, consistent record of what is said. That's why many narcissists get caught out in their lies, because there's no necessity of keeping them straight, because they simply don't care, and in effect, they don't need to. Because if you accuse the narcissist of lying, what will they do? They will start off by denying it, and if you smash through that first line of the twin lines of the narcissistic defense, then they'll fall back on the second, which is to utilize some alternative manipulation to avoid accountability. With that defense mechanism in place, it means that it doesn't matter to the narcissist if they lie or are caught in a lie, because they will always effectively run away from it by virtue of avoiding culpability for having told that lie. Thus, in order to assert control over you, the narcissist may well at 9 a.m. say, "I love you. I have never loved anybody this way before. You are the person that I always want to be with." You then inadvertently threaten their need for control. So 10 minutes later, "I hate you. I never loved you." You're thinking, hang on a second, that doesn't make any sense. 10 minutes ago you were telling me that you did love me. And thus you make that point to the narcissist. "You did say you loved me. You said it 10 minutes ago." "No, I didn't." You're left thinking, am I going mad? Did I imagine it? No, I didn't imagine it. I know they said it. No, 10 minutes ago you said that you love me and you loved me like nobody else before. No, I didn't. You're making things up. How can you say that? Very easily. Because I didn't say it. And the narcissist is able to demonstrate that hypocrisy of their position with regard to what they have said, because it's a genuine belief, because the narcissism revises history, it rewrites the record, it erases what has been said previously, and then, of course, it can reinstate it, twisting your mind even further. This compartmentalization, whereby the narcissist operates moment by moment by moment, meaning that they can say one thing at 9 o'clock, another thing at 9:01, another thing again at 9:02, and then revert back to what they said at 9 o'clock at 9:03, results in a twisting and turning and a bizarre pretzel logic which invariably has your head in pieces, and results in the well-earned accusation of hypocrisy. And this one's wife has demonstrated her hypocrisy time and time again. But here she comes with a great big slice from the pie of hypocrisy. Because as Janine Henney reports in People, where else, this one's wife and Prince Harry are heading to New York City to accept, wait for it, a special recognition for their mental health advocacy. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will accept Project Healthy Minds Humanitarians of the Year Award at the Non-Profits World Mental Health Day Gala on Thursday, October the 9th in New York City. Presumably another bought award, and they're back to that, seeing as nobody else will give them. But how come they are Humanitarians of the Year? What is it based upon? Perhaps someone can tell me. Look, here's People again to ensure that I am informed. Prince Harry and this one's wife will receive the award for their work to make the online world a safer place for families and young people, in addition to their strides to advance mental well-being globally. Ha! Yup. They're making the online world a safer place for families and young people. There goes that hypocrisy alarm. This is coming from the woman who just recently had a guest on her shitty cookery show who was engaged in repeated cyberbullying of children, encouraging one to take a dirt nap and then writing paedophilic observations about toddlers. Chrissy Teigen is filth. There is no other explanation or description that suits her than to say she is filth. And yet, notwithstanding the things that she wrote, not said, wrote, that are a matter of record, there is evidence that demonstrates this in relation to young children and her behaviour in cyberbullying both children and adults, Lindsay Lohan, for example, on Twitter, as was. This one's wife deemed it appropriate to have it on her show. Tell me, Project Healthy Minds, for I am curious, how does that make someone a Humanitarian of the Year for making the online world a safer place for families by having a renowned cyberbully on your show? Because to my mind, that means that you are endorsing that individual's behaviour by having them as a guest. There wasn't even an attempt to say, "So, Chrissy, you got involved in some cyberbullying. That's awful. As you know, I'm an advocate to make the online world a safer place. Come here and let me spank you with a spatula to tell the world how bad you are, and let me know what you think about all of this." And then Chrissy Teigen goes into a rehearsed and prepared apology, saying, "I couldn't help it, I was too busy downing bottles of Blue Nun, and that's what made me do it. I'm cured, I've taken therapy, yada, yada, yada." There wasn't even an attempt to try and address it in the show. This is demonstrative of not only the hypocrisy of this one's wife, but her arrogance. But it doesn't end there. This is the woman who allowed her sister-in-law to be relentlessly and remorselessly bullied when she was suffering from cancer. As her attack dogs, the Sussex Squad, came out with a range of vile and venomous accusations with regard to where Catherine was. And did this one's wife speak out in order to make the online world a safer place for a member of her family? No. There was silence. Has this one's wife sought to quash rumours, for instance, that were propagated by her supporters about William having had an affair? No. There was silence in that regard. The fact is that not only is she a massive hypocrite with regard to the suggestion of making the online world a safer place for families, but what has she done to advance the mental well-being, let's say, of her father, or her half-siblings, or her in-laws, or the people that she's bullied? She denies it, of course, but there are repeated allegations of her bullying individuals. How do they feel about it? Grown men reduced to tears, people who'd had to go and take therapy as a consequence of her treatment. What about their mental well-being? Project Healthy Minds ought to take a long, hard look at itself and ask themselves, why the fuck are you associating with this bully who courts cyberbullies without a care in the world? We all know why she does it, because she has no emotional empathy. We know why she does it, because she doesn't care about anybody other than herself. We understand why it is, because it's her narcissism at work. So long as it's good for this one's wife, it doesn't matter. So long as she gets a guest, it doesn't matter that this person has a reputation for cyberbullying. That's conveniently forgotten about. As long as she is the victim, the other people who are the actual genuine victims become forgotten about. And with a track record, and it isn't just a one-off, this is a track record that this narcissist has in relation to failure to protect people online and adversely affecting the mental well-being of people. She then has the brass neck, but it's no surprise, to go and accept an award praising her for making the online world a safer place for families and young people, in addition to the work to advance mental well-being globally. It is an utter joke. It then provides some reportage about some of the things that they have done. But once again, the hypocrisy is writ large. It's also interesting because clearly they've managed to put the trauma of that near-catastrophic car chase behind them so that they can once again return to New York. Clearly, of course, all of that made-up bullshit's forgotten about through the compartmentalisation of this one's wife's narcissism. The fact is, there are individuals that spend huge amounts of time actually in the trenches, at the coalface, at the front line, helping people who are suffering with regard to their mental health. Not like this pair of parasites who swan in and go, thank you very much, here are some words, here are some more words, thank you for this award, we're now going. What do they actually do about supporting those individuals? It's the people at the front line, the individuals within families, the social workers, the healthcare workers, the mental health workers, that are the ones that are going around with the tennis ball in their pocket so they can throw it at the window to attract the attention of the person that's suffering from crippling depression and won't answer the front door. It's those individuals that put up with being assaulted both physically and verbally as they try and support people that find themselves in very difficult positions as a consequence of ailing mental health. But no, those people aren't the ones that are being honoured. It's the award purchasers, Harry and his hypocrite wife. Project Healthy Minds demonstrates that it is a sham organisation as a consequence of giving this award, but we'll all be able to witness the hypocritical this one's wife basking in her self-adoration as she undoubtedly wanders onto a stage, fillets a mic and spouts another beige word salad. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.